Hello, let's play a bunch of New York Times games, but first we reveal our dad joke and this day in history. So, for Saturday, the 31st, can you believe it's almost February? Or can you believe it's only February? One of those two. I was going to tell a joke about dogs, but I felt it was a little far-fetched. I was going to tell a joke about dogs, but I felt it was a little far-fetched. The only thing I can think of is it's a pun on fetch, because dogs fetch. Is there more to it? Maybe it's just not a good one. Anyway, this day in history, January 31st, 1865, House passes 13th Amendment. On January 31st, 1865, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, abolishing slavery in the United States. In 1864, an amendment abolishing slavery passed the U.S. Senate, but died in the House as Democrats rallied in the name of states' rights. Lincoln preferred that the amendment receive bipartisan support. Some Democrats indicated support for the measure, but many still resisted. The amendment passed 119 to 56, 7 votes above the necessary two-thirds majority. All right. That was back before the Democrat-Republican swap between conservative and liberal. Anyway, so the following people, I'd like to thank the following people who started a new month. Thank you to Alex McCormick and Board Bites. And in addition to that, if you are a member, feel free to comment a dad joke for tomorrow because I don't have one. And either way, if you would like to upvote the ones that you like that you're seeing, then feel free to do that as well. All right. Well, let's start with connections. We're finding 4 groups of 4. We've got dress, wishbone, roller ball, shower, stethoscope, brush, mixer, slingshot, spray can, reception, computer key, fluctuation, tuning fork, work period, and palette knife. We got some weird words/phrases here. Computer key. Computer key feels like it should be a things that, right? Because it's so generic, but like things that you hit with your finger. I don't know. Things that you hit the key, you hit the tuning fork. I'm not sure that that's that. Wishbone, you pull apart and make a wish. Something along those lines. Things you snap. I don't know. All right. What else? Stethoscope, like listening devices, like doctor paraphernalia. Put on a stethoscope and people will believe whatever you say, right? Lab coat and stethoscope. Reception, spray can. Things you spray. Ways to paint, spray can, brush, and roller. What's our 4th way to paint? Palette knife, I suppose. I'm just going to lock that in. This is ways you can paint. Paint. Ways to apply paint. There we go. A fluctuation is interesting. Stuff related to waves, like fluctuation and tuning fork. Or frequency related things. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it. If you're getting ready, you shower, you dress. You computer key? No. If you're a doctor, you put on your stethoscope? No. Reception. Like a reception, like a party? Because we also have ball. Okay. Things that are regular, like a work period, right, can also be, I don't know. I'm seeing like regular/irregular things. I'm not entirely sure what we're talking about here with work period. But I don't know. Maybe I'll hold off on that. Slingshot. Things you pull back. We still have computer key. We still have dress and shower. Mixer. So a mixer and a ball. and a reception are all parties. What would be the fourth party? A shower, like a baby shower? Let's try it. Okay, that was it. Kinds of parties. That was yellow. So, I feel like wishbones and stethoscopes and slingshots are, and a tuning fork. They're all similar in shape, aren't they? You've got like two things coming down to one point. So I'm gonna do that. These are similarly shaped things, Y-shaped things. There you go. Fluctuation, computer key, work period, and dress. Ooh. So fluctuation and work period did go together, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't know, like dot related things. Like a dot is, I don't know about fluctuation, but there's a computer key that's a dot. Work period. I was thinking period is dot. I don't know. Dresses can be dotted. Ah, I doubt it's that. Purple is being weird. Yeah, that's probably not it, but I don't know what it is. Let's just find out. Shift. Okay. I was right about computer key being a things that, I count this as a things that, what shift might refer to. Okay, so shift is a computer key. A shift is a kind of dress. Isn't a shift something that goes under your dress? Or maybe I just don't know what a shift is. I don't wear dresses. Fluctuation. A shift is a fluctuation. That's a bit of a stretch. Like there was a shift in public approval. So it was a fluctuation in it. Fluctuation kind of, doesn't fluctuation imply that you go down and then return back to normal? Like it's a quick, I don't know, maybe there's other ways of defining that. Work period is your shift. Oh yeah, your work shift. Okay. I was never going to get that. I don't think I could have spent a million years on that. Maybe if I'd gone through every computer key and what it was called, maybe I would have gone, oh, dress is also a shift. But anyway, didn't have to. It just happened. Difficulty. I think there's some hard aspects to this. I think there's going to be a class of people who are down to purple blue. But then thinking of like shower as a party. I mean, baby showers are pretty common, but it mean you may not make that connection. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a higher difficulty. Let's give it a 2.7, and I think our solve rate's going to be 70%. Let's see if I'm right. And by the way, the reason I do the guess is because I had requests to guess it. People think it's fun. I don't really care if I'm accurate or not, and it's not a judgment call on how you did. 2.8 is close to 2.7. 68%. Did I say 70? Okay, so I was really close today. It's interesting. We've got 32% making no mistakes and 32% losing. Big split there. My order's 1 to 21. That's pretty common. All right. So people are getting, oh, so I guess the Y-shaped things is a pretty obvious category. But this is people who won. So we'll have to look at what people did who lost. But they usually line up pretty well. So blue and green are pretty evenly split on getting first. Yellow and purple, not so much. And I do think it's the shower here. Like these aren't obvious words for parties. Reception can mean like cell phone reception. Mixer can be something that mixes for like making cookies or whatever. Shower is obviously a way of cleaning yourself. Ball, like, so all these have more typical meanings over party. There isn't, it's not like they added party into the mix, which primes you to think about parties. Anyway, second really evens out. Still no purples. When I say no, I just mean rare. People who lost just lost. That was that 35% we saw. Well, no, that's not necessarily true. But yeah, it looks like people who lost just. It looks like yellow purple is what some people were down to, not blue purple as I suspected. All right, yeah. So we've got a whole 13% of games getting only blue green. And we got 6% getting nothing, 6% getting green, and 3% getting blue. So it's just a lot of blue greens today. We do have a little bit of a green yellow, but not as much as I thought. All right. So I was wrong about what was hard about this puzzle. Putting dress in as a party. Putting mixer in with painting. Computer key with Y-shaped objects. Well, the AI figured out these were supposed to be Y-shaped objects, but then computer key. Maybe they were thinking like what Y might refer to instead of shift, right? And so a slingshot and a stethoscope tuning fork kind of look like a Y, so you'd have a Y computer key as well. I could see that being the logic because it's a pretty common mistake. 6%. Ball mixer reception work period. Maybe thinking like work party or something. I don't know. And then reception in. So there's going to be a lot of yellow, purple, just guessing. So who knows what's going on there. What are people locking first? Blue, green, yellow, green with mixer again, green with mixer again, and then purple. All right. Well, that's it for connections. How did you do? Hello, let's do pips for Saturday, January 31st, and hopefully it's not as brutal as yesterday. Let's start with the easy to give us a nice confidence boost. Okay, so we got to put a 0.6 here. And then we got to put a 0.1 here. And then this is probably 0.3. Let's just smack that in there. This has to be 0.2. This has to be 0.4. And then we got to put the 0.0 here and then the 0.5. It just ends up there. All right. So I think this was just a lesson in geometry where there was forced domino placement as you went. And so there was only one choice for every single option as you went, except possibly guessing this had. No, I think the 3 was the. If you place the 0.2, then now the 3 is forced there. Anyway, pretty easy to vibe that one. Let's do medium. All right. I don't think it's a particular shape today. Like, I don't think this looks like a letter or anything. Do we have a domino that adds to 10? Yes, we do. So let's just slap that in there and oh, there's also a 6-4, so we gotta be a little careful here. Do I have a domino that adds to 4? Yeah. So let's start with that. And then do I have another domino that adds to 4? I do not. Okay, so this finally proves that actually, if I pull up my pen, what I'm talking about is that proves that the dominoes have to do this. Because we don't have 2 of them that add to 4. It forces that, and then this is a little open. Okay, so this makes it a little bit harder because we can't just say adds to 10, adds to 4, adds to 4, adds to 7. But the 10 still has to be 4, 5s, and 6s. 7 is very open. It can have anything in it other than blanks. We don't have a blank anyway. 4 must be 1, 3, or 2, 2. So I'm wondering if something along the lines of 1, 6 here, and then the 3, 2 can come over here, and then the 2, 4 can go down, and then I hope I have a 3, 4. I don't. Okay. I mean, I didn't look ahead all that much, but it seemed to work. So I would need if okay, this is my only 4. So if I do the 6, 1 here, I have to put the 4, 6 here. Okay, what if I turn around this 3, 2? Does that help me at all? Because now I can do 2, 4 this way, and then I can do 1, 6 down. No, I think I want to do 1, 3 down because that allows me to do this 4, 6 eventually. All right. Now this is greater than 3. That means it's just not the 1. What do I have 3 of? I have 3 5s. So something like this seems perfectly reasonable. And then we just turn this around. All right. Cool. Yeah, definitely not as brutal as yesterday, although still not straightforward. It still took me 2 minutes. All right, let's do the hard. I'm definitely drawing this one out. We got so many ins here. I want to see how those interact. Okay, big lattice. This is weird. We shouldn't. Oh, sorry. Whenever I see a 12, like my brain goes, that's all 6s, but that would be silly. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 12 and 5. Gotta have really small numbers there. All right. Are there any other forced dominoes? I'm having a tough time seeing any more. Oh, no, this can straddle. Just greater than 0. Okay. I'm wondering if the 12 is our end. How many 3s do we have? We have a 3-3, 3-4, 3-5, 3-6. 12 and 5. Our average is a bit above 2, which is not amazing. Well, okay, so these are full dominoes that are just kind of small. Like if I did the 3-3 in here, that adds to 6. These 3 would add to 6. So they'd be something like, because we don't have 3-3, we mean like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 would do it, but well, okay, so what are my smallest dominoes? I'm gonna so this one's 4. Here, let me just do it this way. This one's 4. I don't know if you can see that. Let me move it. This one's 4. Sorry. This one's 6. This one's 6. 7. 8. 6. We got a lot of 6s. But these can't both be 6. Well, I guess they could be because we have a blank. 11, 7, 8, 5, 8, 9. Okay. So what I'm thinking is the 4 and the 5. Let's just vibe that. And it doesn't matter what order they go in. These are always swappable, no matter what they are. So this adds to 6 plus 5 is 11 already. It's all right, but there's 4 plus 5. It's 9 already. So this would be a 3. And I don't know which way it goes. I have a 3. This is also a 3. So that doesn't work. I've just proven this doesn't work. No, we'd have to go this way. Sorry. I can't go down. If I do this, I can't go down. The reason is that I have a 3. These would be identical dominoes. A 3 here with some digit, and then a 3 here with the same digit because it's an equal. So if I do this, I have to go this way with the 3. And that means this is a double. So something like double 4, and then the 3-4, wherever it is. There it is. And then this is a 4 that throws out its other digit. And that doesn't work because we don't have another 4. Okay, so what's another double I can use? Not the 3. Wait, is 3 and 4 my only doubles? That would do a lot. I'm looking. I have a double 2 here. So maybe I have to use the double 2 down here. So if this was a double, I'd have to use double 2. So basically what I've proven at this point is if the 2-2 and the 5-1 is in here, the 3 can't go to the right and it also can't go down. So it doesn't work. Now, does this work? Let's get rid of that. Do I have a 3-2? Would be, I guess, the first question. I don't seem to. So that doesn't work. So 2-2 doesn't go there. 3-3, could the 3-3 go here? No, 3-3 can't go here because then we need another 3-3. So let me just be careful. 3-3 does not go in there. 4-4 doesn't go in there because I don't have enough 4s. This would be 4-4. This would be 3-4, and then I'm out of 4s. So it's not the 4-4. I think I'm proving that this isn't double. That's what I'm trying to do at least. And then the 2-2 doesn't work because we don't have a 3-2. Okay. So we now know how to draw this. This goes this way, and this goes this way. And that goes that way. That goes down. Perfect. We know the geometry. Though this is a double, which is a 2 or 3 or a 4. It's really tempting to do this because then I can just put 2 6s in there. 3, 5, 5, 2. What are my dominoes that has 6? I have a 1, 5. And I have a, wait, Do I have more domino? A 3, 3. Okay. So if I have two that adds 6, it's that because I don't have a 2, 4. So those are gone. And so this has to be a double, and 4, 4 is what's left, right? 2, 2 or 4, 4. 4 doesn't work. We don't have 4 4s. Sorry. So it would be 2. And then I have 5, 2, which I'll stick with the 5, 2. If I need the 6, 2, I'll change it. In fact, no, all my 5s go here. So it's 6, 2. And oh, no, this doesn't work because all my 5s go here, so I don't have enough 2s. We never had enough 4s. So actually, this has to be the 3, 3. That's not true, but this can't be the blank is the proof here. All right, so we can't do 6, 6 and blank. So I need to use something that's smaller than 6. Let me put it this way. We need 4 of 3 different digits. So what are we doing with that? But only one of them needs to be a double. I'm getting a bit. If I had a count of the digits, that would be nice, but I don't know if I want to count them right now. Okay, which ones do we have 4 of? 1, definitely not. In fact, we only have 1, 1. 2, we do have 4 of, and it uses a double. So keep in mind that the ones that you have to use a double could only go here. So I'm thinking the 2 does have to go there. 3, we actually have enough 3s that we could use the double as part of it. So we could do 3, 3 here, and then have all these be 3s. The 3, 5, the 3, 4, and the 3, 6. This is too big, though. This is 1, 2, or 3. Because, isn't it? Yeah, this is 1, 2, or 3. If it was a 4, remember the smallest that these could add to was the 2, 2 here. And actually, if this is the 2, 2, that's still not even possible. But with the 2, 2 here and the 0, 5 here, that's the smallest it could add to, which is 9. And so this is a 1, 2, or 3. And so I can't put the 3, 3 here because then I don't have something small attached to a 3. So it's not the 3, 3 there. It could be the 3, 3 here or something. But anyway, let's hold on to that. 4s, we only have 3 of, which is good to know. And then 5s, we have 5 5s, and we've got some small digits attached to 5s. I think we got to do the 1, 5 here, and we got to figure out how to make this add to 11. So is it this domino that adds to 5? And then a domino that adds to 6, which we have a bunch of? Maybe. Let's see. And then the 3, 5 would go in here. And then we have 5, 6, and we have 5, 2. So I kind of like 5, 2 going into the one that we need 4 of. And then the 5, 6. Oh, we need 4. We have 4 6s as well. Well, let's start with this. I don't have enough 2s left. Oh, the 2 2s go up there. Never mind. So this is the 5, 6. And I think we need to remember that I need to use the 5, 2 up here. So I don't actually have enough 5s, do I? Unless I use this. So I guess, I mean, 11 can be 5 plus 6. It can be 4 plus 7. Those would be the only options, but the 4 is used here. So it has to be 5 plus 6, but now I don't have a 5. Maybe I swap these. Maybe there is a way to do it with 2 6s. I don't know. Let's swap these and see if the rest of the puzzle solves and see if I learn anything from that. So this is the 2, 6. Now I don't have enough 6s. There's like a weird connection here. Okay. This obviously doesn't work. But we could try 3-6 here. Try 3-6 here. So what's I have a 6 blank. Maybe that's what I gotta do. And I have 6-2 and 6-5. So 6-5 here. Ah, shoot. See, this is the problem I'm running into. I don't have enough twos if I have to use a 5 or a 6 here. And so then this wouldn't be double 2. Oh boy, this is a brutal one. Can't do double 4. What about double 3? What was the issue with double 3? Let's find out. Maybe there isn't an issue. We have to use all our 5s here. And this actually lines up really well with our greater thans. So these just have to add to 12. Now I have a 2-2. So that's 4. So these would add to 8. Oh, wow. See, that's unexpected. Hard to vibe that. This 12 had 2 doubles in it. Wow. Okay. Well, that was very brute forced, but it feels like that was the only solution. I don't even think anything can be swapped or rotated like trivially. Like obviously you can rotate the 4-4 and the 2-2, but I wouldn't count that as a different solution. So yeah, cool. Well, how'd you do? Hello, let's do the mini crossword for Saturday, January 31st. It's the bigger mini. Let's do it. Lifeguard skill for short, CPR. Health measure calculated using height and weight, BMI, body mass index. Terrible metric. I've cracked the code. I'm in. I don't know. A long, long time. An eon, perhaps? Like a desert's climate, dry, arid. We're still figuring it out in its TBD. Holder of meats and cheeses at a supermarket. Needing careful handling. All right. X-ray alternative. MRI. Sorry. Zipped along. Sped. Suffix with legal. Legalese, maybe? Ask nosy questions. Pry. Header on a company's website, perhaps. Opponent of a Met or Marlin in the NL East. I don't know. What's wrong here? Halves of diameters are radii. It's plural, so it has to be plural. Halves is plural, so radii is plural. Tech release that's not the finished product. Beta app. Are these both the same word? That would be kind of fun. Mafia member. A mobster. Okay, they aren't. Yes, blank. Informal for sure. Yes. Indubitably. Words from someone hoping to be friends on Facebook. Add me. A lot of double letters here. Includes on an email chain. CCs. Carbon copies. I've cracked the code. Aha. Holder of meats and cheeses. Some kind of cask. I don't know. Case. Deli case. Deli case. Needing careful handling. Delicate. Ah, okay, that's fun. Deli case and delicate. Lots of double letters. Okay, so it was a Philly. Okay. The Phillies. Oh, I would spell Philly with a Y. I don't know about that. Because when you talk about the city, it's Philly. So you'd think if you talk about the team, like the team is the Phillies, IES. I understand that. But if you were going to make that singular, I would think you would change the IES to a Y, but what do I know? Careers. Header on a company's website, perhaps. Careers. Oh, wow. That's a tough ask without a lot of letters. Did I miss anything else? No, but I got a lot right early on. That was nice. How'd you do? Let's do Strands. Today's theme is it's part of the game. Like rules of the game? Or what? My brain saw Helvetica. H and then ELV. It's not Helvetica, but that's pretty funny. It's part of the game. Quest. Quabte, obviously. QU. E or A next? Quasso, quask, quab, quell, que. I'm not seeing it. Darn it. I thought that was an in. Pickle? Pickle. It's part of the game. Pickle. Pickleball? Ball? I don't know. Football? Oh, just foot. So this is blank ball. Pickleball, football, there should be baseball. How many ball games are there? A million? Billiard ball? No. Basketball, of course. So ball is the end of our spanogram. What's the start of it? I guess there's paddle here. Have a ball. There we go. Have a ball. Racket. There we go. That's what the Q is doing. Okay. I thought we'd start with Q. I always assume we start with Q, and pretty almost. I think probably the vast majority of the time, if there's a Q, we aren't starting with Q. So I don't know why I constantly assume that. I think it's just because if it doesn't start with Q, it's more like this. I understand that it doesn't have to start with Q, but if it doesn't start with Q, I'm not finding it. But if it does start with Q, I might be able to find it. And so I focus on that just to see if I can find it. That makes sense, right? Anyway, how'd you do? Hello. Today's bonus game is Betweenal. I'll make my first guess, then explain the game. I'll make logic my first guess because we want to logically solve the game. All right. So imagine all of the possible words that you could guess laid out like a dictionary in alphabetical order, A to Z, exactly alphabetical order. What this is telling us is that our word is between logic and all Z's represents the end of the list. So all Z's. So we're after logic. Now, in addition to that, we have this orange dot. If we were to lay out logic through the end of, if we had cards, right, of logic through the end of our list of words in alphabetical order, the orange is where the bookmark would be. So it's not L, M, N, you can't just go by first letter because there's going to be way more words that start with L compared to words that start with Q, for example. So it's just all the words as cards, and then the orange is where the bookmark is. And then the 20 and 30 are extremely useful because that's saying to the left of my bookmark, near the logic, I've got 20% of my cards. And then to the right, I've got 30%. Now you notice that doesn't add to 100. That's because the other 50% are already eliminated left of logic. So anyway, that's kind of one way to visualize that. I hope that's helpful. For our next guess, we need to be a little bit closer to logic than the end. Now we do have to consider density of letters, right? Like I said, Q has fewer words than R, S, and T. R, S, and T tend to have a large amount. It would be extremely beneficial to this game to memorize what percent of the list is in every letter. I have not done so. I just kind of go off vibes. But you could really narrow down exactly where you're supposed to be by doing that. You would know after any guess, you would know exactly what your letter is. Anyway. All that said, I think I'm going to try an R. I'm going to try an early R. I'm going to do rainy. Okay, so we are in R. Could we still be RA? I mean, I think it's possible. We're 1.5% away. So we have to think about what's 1.5% of the entire word list. And it's going to be about 150 words, I think. So maybe RA isn't good. Let's skip to RI and just see if we can get that to move down. I'll do river. Okay, river does go down. Now we're exactly in between A and I, so probably RE then. Why did Reest come to mind? Like, what even is that? There's got to be something. Recon for some reason. All right. So we're a little bit after recon. I still think we're RE, but I should do a later letter. Retry. Oof. Okay, so that's way too far. So I should stay much closer to C. Rehab. Okay, so maybe REG? REF? I'm trying to think of an REG word. Regular, but that's way too long. Yeah, I can't. So REF? Ref. REE. I could guess reads. I don't think they do plurals in this game, but I can't think of a ref. I can't think of a D maybe. Ooh, okay, so I'm still closer to H. Fry? We're like right here. We're 0.01 basically means you're the next possible word. So we're not RZ. I don't think we're FS. I don't think we're FT. So FU? REFU. Refund. VWXY. We could be REG. I wonder if refry is the last REF. Regal? There we go. Wow. Okay. Tough one. I don't know. Maybe I made it harder than it needed to be with my weird guesses, but we got there. How'd you do? And let's spin the bonus game wheel. See what we're going to play tomorrow. What will it be? It will be whatever Kenny's suggestion is. Food guesser. All right, this is a fun one because so I think it has 3 rounds. It shows a picture of, I think, or at least I think it just describes a food, and you have to guess what the country of origin is. And it gives you a little compass as you make guesses. Pretty fun. And then you learn about like the history of that food item, get pictures of it. Cool stuff. All right, so that's Food Guesser. There will be a link in the description if you'd like to try that. And that is it for this video. If you'd like to watch Wordle, you can click at the end of the video. It'll take you right there. I also have a pinned comment with all the games I played today. And if you enjoyed this, want to leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.